Don in London, hello. It's March 4th, 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour, or substance and behaviour. In my case, my substance of addiction was alcohol, could have been anything else, and my behaviour, equally addictive towards work, relationships, collecting, materialism. A really good consumer in the sense of a marketing person's dream. If you offered it to me and I had the money, I'd say yes. And that was the same with drink. So conviviality, that's what I was looking for. Joyfulness, love, fitting in, being a part of, striving to find my place in the world. And I guess I never really understood how to do that from a very early age, because fear seemed to live inside me. But I didn't know it was fear. I couldn't actually articulate what it was. That sense of doom, or not quite right, not fitting in, not being part of, not understanding that I had choices about how to live my life. It always seemed to be an obligation in some way or other. So gradually over the years I declined into dependence on fixing myself with external means, like alcohol, people, places, things, you name it. Trying to be whatever I thought it was. I thought I ought to be, rather than just let life happen and make some choices as I went along. So these days, one day at a time, I'm able to make a better choice about my life simply because I'm sober. I'm not trying to fix myself all the time with either alcohol, people, places or things. I'm just trying to find out who I am by the end of the day. So each day I start with a blank slate, and it's great because it's just about living for today. It doesn't mean I don't have plans for the future. It doesn't mean I'm not thinking about or feeling that I need to take account of my situation overall. But what's important to me is to understand my emotional and spiritual balance on a daily basis, and the rest can follow. I can make choices as they open up. So the gift for me in sobriety is, rather than being closed down, isolated, obsessed about how to stop drinking, how to make my life work again, I let life happen, and then the choices open up of their own accord. So the old days was always about fixing. These days it's about living. And what's made this possible? Well, simply family, friends, community, professionals kept me alive long enough to find a moment of clarity when I realised at last, I cannot do this on my own, and I need help to get out of my addictions. And that took a long time. So a very long drinking story, lots of fun along the way, but also tragic heartache, because all the emotions were always at the extreme of either happy or sad, love or hate. A fanatic about being perfect, and never so. So it's okay to be me and to be learning on a daily basis. And what helps me most of all stay in recovery these days, including family, friends, professionals and community, is a fellowship which simply offers me an opportunity to find experience, strength and hope on a daily basis to help my life work, or live my life, just simply that. And that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. So I'm an absolute fan. I know I need lean-on fellowship when things are going well, and I need lean-on fellowship when things aren't going so well. So I'm learning one day at a time, and it's taken decades to get here. So I'm relieved just to live a straightforward, open, honest life as best I can, and knowing that denial is always there to catch me out, and that I have defects of character which can actually trip me up on this strange but happy road of destiny. Even when it's adverse, it can be happily adverse, terribly wonderful or wonderfully horrible, all those things. Life is an oxymoron. Anyway, what is fellowship and the AA fellowship? I share the statement of intent and a bit of the readings which are available to help me keep on track, weeding out the horrible weeds that come. That's my defects of character, fear, putting on a brave face and ego. And I had a lesson about that. I broke my foot and spent 5 days hobbling around thinking it would get better, but it didn't, and now I need help, and I'm getting it. So, AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And those two sentences there for me which are really important, especially this month. Only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, which is the third tradition which holds the fellowship together. Only one reason we're coming to AA, a desire to stop drinking. No other rules, no other regulations, an invite, a desire to stop. And then to share a message of experience, strength and hope. And I share it here because sometimes people can't get to meetings, or people just cannot go to AA for whatever reason. They cannot go. So I open the door, and that's the gift of what we do. And I got to an AA meeting last night. Tuesday I couldn't get out because of the foot, and I had to rest it. I took advice and did what the hospital said. Put your foot up, don't go out. And last night's meeting was a great share by somebody who was doing the first share they've done in this country, and are fairly new to sobriety. And they outlined all the issues which I faced. How to tell people that I'm an alcoholic, or to share with family I'm an alcoholic, and I want to be in recovery. And the answer is, it's very difficult to admit it to ourselves, and where the journey takes us after that is what we choose is safe for us. So you don't have to do anything except follow what feels right for you. And today's reading in the Daily Reflections is all about weeding the garden. And March in this book is all about step 3, which is letting go and letting God, or letting good conscience be our guide. Whatever it is, a power greater than us. And I rely very much on the experience, strength and hope of others to help me with the wisdom of living. So here it goes for March 4th, weeding the garden. The essence of all growth is a willingness to make a change for the better, and then an unremitting willingness to shoulder whatever responsibility this entails. By the time I'd reached step 3, I'd been freed of my dependence on alcohol, that's in a physical sense, but bitter experience had shown me that continuous sobriety requires continuous effort. Every now and then I paused to take a good look at my progress. More and more of my garden is weeded each time I look, but each time I can also find new weeds sprouting where I thought I'd made my final pass with the blade. As I head back to get the newly sprouted weed, it's easier when they are young. I take a moment to admire how lush the growing vegetables and flowers are. I guess that's my sobriety. And my labours are rewarded. My sobriety grows and bears fruit. And the metaphor in that is very simple. If we're constantly aware of the defects and assets, or our assets and liabilities, of personality traits, courage, faith and confidence are my assets, and sometimes they're in short supply. And fear, brave facing and ego can come in very quickly, like me jumping up and saying there's nothing wrong with my foot, or there's nothing wrong with my outlook. But as soon as I deny there may be something wrong, I'm stopping the learning process, and some weeds are starting to grow. So today, well, let's hope for less weeds and more flowers. And the serenity prayer, which is to God or a higher power of your understanding. It's your understanding which counts in all of this. No one else's. Your understanding. To God or good conscience. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference is simply just for today.